go. Here we go, and we're back. All right. Put that there. What's good? What's good? Waiting for these to load up. Like I see the numbers here, but it's not matching over here. Okay, they coming in now. What's good, people? What's happening? All right, so this is the Venom spoiler talk. So we're gonna get spoiler. If you haven't seen Venom, we finna spoil it all here. If you don't mind spoilers, stick around. If you do mind spoilers, I already warned you. Yeah. What's good? What's good? First time seeing the face with the voice. I did a face reveal a while back. I did one a while back, but we here now, so it's all good. Let's see. Let's talk some Venom. So what do you guys think of the movie, first of all? Just first impressions. Let's see. I mean, already getting to the post credits. They hated the Cletus Cassidy scene. To me, it was just the wig. It was the wig, and I feel like it could have been teased a little bit more. You know, that he had the symbiote. You know, that he was already Carnage or something, maybe. Because I kind of feel like he was. Let's see. Too many dark camera angles. I mean, that's the thing though, because you know, Venom and Superman, Spider-Verse, and I mean, that's the post credit. Let's go in order. First impressions. Let me scroll back up because I started on one. What's good, people? I started on one, but I lost it. Did you like the dialogue between Eddie and Venom? Yeah, I loved it. I think that was one of the best things about it. That's definitely one of the best things about it because the communication just worked well. And I think part of that had a lot to do with Tom Hardy doing both. So the dynamic was there, and I hear he did a lot of ad-lib as well, which they may have went back and forth with and re-edited some of it. Who knows? But I think that worked well. I think they probably did go back and do a lot of that, like kind of just re-flip that back in because how well he worked in talking to the symbiote, it stood out to like the writing of everything else in the movie. You know what I'm saying? So like the same writer who wrote all that word for word wrote the whole movie. I think it would have been closer as far as the quality. Let's see. What about She-Venom? That I did not see that coming. Stan Lee cameo. How would you rate it? The Stan Lee cameo. It was cool. It was cool. I still think Ant-Man and the Wasp was one of the best ones recently. But the Stan Lee cameo, it was cool. Let's see. when Venom told Eddie to jump and he didn't. Yeah. I ain't trying to repeat it verbatim and get demonetized, but you know what I'm saying? That definitely was funny. Like the whole theater, the theater that I was in, everybody laughed at that part. Let me see. I remember the question now because I totally did want to go back to that. I did want to go back to that. Somebody was asking about the dark scenes. It was, I mean, everything's black. Both Venom and Riot. I had a brain fart too earlier. It was like I completely forgot Riot's name. But both Venom and Riot, they're darker colors, and you can tell they kind of changed the post on Riot to make him more of a grayish, a dark gray to differentiate. But I feel like the boss battle, for lack of better terms, was kind of hard to tell, with the shots with just so much going on. And they slowed it down to kind of help, but it's one of the things you just got to look at it again and really see what's happening. You can't really see it on the first take. And I feel like that's one of the parts that went by quickly, even though a lot of it went by quick. I feel like that's one of the parts that went by quick that I'm glad it went by quick because I was ready to get back to everything else that I liked. You think Venom 2 will be PG-13 with Carnage 2? Will it be PG-13? It better not be. Because if Venom 2 is PG-13 and it has Carnage in it, it don't need to be called Maximum Carnage. You need called Minimum Carnage, or Little Carnage, Drop of Carnage, something. It definitely ain't Maximum. One more Venom, Spider-Man. One more Venom movies. Spider-Man gets more movies. Venom should get some, and there should be a crossover both times. Yeah, that would be a new option. What's that? One level up, Alba. That would be a new option. I'm not sure if I'm thinking the same thing of what you're saying or how it reads, but if they had a Peter Parker, Tom Holland Peter Parker in that universe and also in the MCU, but there were two different universes, I think that would confuse audiences though. I think like your general viewer gets confused easy. Like if Venom walks through that frame of the scene and then comes back through this side, they're lost. They're just completely lost. So I don't think they would do that, but I would love that actually. Let's see. How you think fans who Eddie? How you think some fans who hip Eddie and Venom's romantically attached? Nah, it don't necessarily work like that. But I'll say this though, as far as the chemistry between him, like it just didn't work for me. I didn't really feel like the characters was connecting like that. Let's see, Phage, Toxin. I mean, I feel like we saw the symbiotes. We saw like the color, like the yellow color, and the other two, like in the film, it was pretty tough to distinguish. But I kind of feel like what because that scene went by so fast. I wasn't looking like I was looking for the trailer, like when I did a trailer review. But I feel like they're definitely gonna try to use them later on. Whether they'll try to bring them in the Carnage sequel, who knows? They might be hesitant because of their previous track record with multiple villains in Spider-Man movies. They might not do that, but we'll see. I just hope they don't Spider-Man 2. I hope they don't Amazing Spider-Man 2, Venom 2. But I think they learned their lesson from that. Let's see what else we got here. Venom appeared to be the star, while Eddie and everyone else were the co-stars. Nah, Eddie was definitely the lead in the film because they spent a lot of time setting up Eddie and his backstory and who he was. And then Venom just kind of came along. at one point. The most we got of Venom until he attached to Eddie was him not working with others. See, the writing was everywhere. When it came to storyline, it was rushed. Most hero arcs have longer sequence. Wallace. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, as far as it being everywhere, I feel like the pacing, because there was a certain part towards the first act where I felt like the pacing was going to slow down because I understood, yeah, well, after they established the crash and um, the Foundation was monitoring and they were getting out there and they got the symbiotes and were taking them back, and then the title came up. I felt like that went by very quickly and understandably quickly because you want to get to the film. But I thought like right after that it was going to slow down, but it almost felt like it didn't. Like it dropped a step just a little bit, but it was still moving so quickly. Like they had so much to explain so quick. Venom felt like Little Shop of Horrors. That's the Feed Me Seymour. They did rush it. Cause I want to say they took like a year to make it. They took like a year to make it. And they shot so much more than what they actually used. Like, that's what they're saying everywhere. And when it comes to making a profitable film, that's not a good thing if if you're shooting more and not using it. So hopefully we get another version of the film. Kind of like the Batman v Superman, where they did Warner Brother did the the different cut that showed, I forget what they call it, like the Ultimate Edition or something. Somebody remind me. With Batman v Superman, they actually showed the blood and they showed everything else in that edition. Hopefully, they do something like that for another one. We get a digital release. Tom Hardy said. Tom Hardy said they cut his favorite 40 minutes of the film. That's a lot. That's a lot of minutes. So it needs to be rated R. Yeah, I feel like it was. I liked it at PG-13, but I feel like it was rated R. I could have loved it. Let's see. Think the Blu-ray will have the uncut version. I hope so. I really hope so. Let's see. Venom and the MCU wouldn't go together at all, like putting raisins in potato salad. Sharon, keep that potato salad. The yeah, I mean, if Venom was an MCU, we definitely wouldn't got that head bite off. Like, I love the angle that they gave that at when he turned around and bit the other dude head off that was shooting at him. Because I thought he was gonna bite the dude head off that was in the trailer, but he turned around and got the other guy. And I saw that and I was like, okay, here we go. I thought I was gonna get a few heads bitten off, but then again, it's PG-13, so none of that. Mm, you can kiss MCU. You can kiss Venom MCU version bye bye. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that because just looking at the way things are lining up for the MCU in Phase 4, and one of the reasons why to myself, I'm like a advocate for this movie is because by the time we get 2 or 3 Venom films from Sony, it would have looped around for Spider-Man to get either in Spider-Man 3 or Spider-Man 4. You know, given that Sony keeps putting them out at a similar pace, by that time we can get a Venom in the MCU, and in the meantime, still have Venom films prior to. See, Disney has no control over Spider-Man Far From Home's the last movie in the contract. it's the last movie in the contract, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna do another one. I'm pretty sure they got something, some kind of deal going on to do another one, just not in writing yet. And as far as Disney not having control, I'm pretty sure they negotiated for Marvel Studios to have creative control, full creative control, or they wouldn't have done it. I think but Sony definitely produced the films. They definitely produced the films, but Marvel definitely said what they wanted to happen. They picked the directors. Let's see. No, be so dope, and should be like the third installment though. If done right, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. Drink some water, a little parched. But I would love a no film. But I wouldn't be mad if they didn't do it in the Sony films. Though it could be good still. I kind of want Noel in the MCU. Just because of the Necro Sword, because of All Black, because of Celestials, because of everything. Everything. Because of Gore the God Butcher, because of Thor. I really want that in the MCU. But if done right and done with a true horror tone, and probably with like a James Wan type of director, that could be pretty sick. Will we ever see Carnage USA? Yo, if they do Carnage USA for the sequel, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. Why would Disney not want to have a successful Venom film in the MCU? Why would Disney not want to have a successful Venom film in the MCU? They would absolutely want it to be successful in the MCU. Whether it's successful at Sony, I imagine Disney could care less. But I would like to have both. I would like to have both. Sony out there somewhere like, can I live? We want to make some movies too. Let's see. Great. Solo Carnage film would be great. We need to be rated R because we need real carnage. Yeah, it's like if it's PG-13, is it actual carnage though? Is it? Is it though? Not really. I can see Venom being a part of Taskmaverse with the Taskmaster universe. It's a nice horror piece. I mean, character, spy film. It wasn't successful. There's a difference between Sony. I said it wasn't successful. There's a difference between Sony's success and Marvel's success. From what I hear, it's doing pretty good. Like, period. Yeah, I know Marvel's success is a whole nother level, but I hear for like just a film period is doing pretty good. Outside of breaking the records for October as well. Because you think about it, breaking the record for October, that's not necessarily competing with any other comic film. That's more so competing with the horror films that have come out in October. That's usually what we get around this month. Horror films. What else come out around this time? Mainly horror films or thriller type films. I would see a movie with Venom, Carnage, and Deadpool all together. I would definitely see that too. Definitely see that too. We may, hopefully, in the in the MCU, we'll get that, and it'll be Thunderbolts. Get Red Hulk, Deadpool, Carnage, Ghost Rider. Get everybody in there. Probably a little Mephisto. We said Venom did 205 mil, made 80 opening domestically, hasn't opened in France, China. Well, that is not bad. That is not bad. Not bad. Carnage is probably going to win the fight with Venom. Yeah, I could definitely see that in the film. I could definitely see it in the film. Unless Venom kind of gets help like he did in the first one. Because in most cases, he did need Spider-Man's help. Let's see. Ghost Rider, please no Nicolas Cage. I'm telling y'all, we talked about it a while back, but Norman Reedus from Walking Dead, we need him to be Ghost Rider. And at the time, he was cool with it. Wakanda Forever. I just hope they don't rush Morbius. Yeah, I really want them to do that justice. Because I do like a good vampire. When a vampire story is done right. And they got a lot of ways they can go without Spider-Man having to do with Morbius. Might feel a little weird with it being Morbius without Spider-Man, but we'll see. I got to hear more information about that if I really know how I feel about it, though. Let's see. It'll be cool. We got if they made Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions with the Ultimate Spider-Man, 2099 Spider-Man, more Spider-Man, and present Spider-Man. Yeah. I kind of feel like that's what the Spider-Verse in the post credit, not the mid credit, but the post credit was kind of setting up. I really feel like that's kind of what the animated series is gonna do, or the animated films are gonna do with their Spider-Verse that they're setting up. Eddie Brock, Web Limbs, Carnage wins. Oh no. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I don't think Carnage gonna cut off all of Eddie's limbs, but I think he's gonna get pretty messed up though. But that's the thing with PG-13. With PG-13, you can get brutal-ish as long as there's no blood. People can get dropped off of whatever as long as you see that they're alive. There's a lot of gray area. Like MCU has been destroying the PG-13 borderline. Because I used to think it was like one cuss word you can get. MCU, they be getting like 2 or 3 in there in some of the films. I'm out. Still haven't seen this yet. Well, this the spoiler talk. We spoiling everything. West dude, we spoiling it all. Let's see. I think Hulk should bring in the X-Men. Okay. What else we got? Let's see. Man, Venomverse. Man, throw this Sony Venomverse away. Who wanted this? Venomverse, the Venomverse. I think that's the name that's kind of sticking with it revolving around Venom. because I don't what I don't want it to do is take a Venomverse or Venomized type of storyline. I don't want it to take either of those routes because the whole invasion and poison thing, I don't want to see that in the film. I'm okay on that. If Sony doesn't go R-rated, we'll bankrupt. I mean, they may be able to get away with the PG-13, but if you go PG-13, it's going to be a harder film to make. I'll just leave that there. I'll just leave that there. But as far as anything else, I'm trying to think of something else in there. We talked about the heads biting off. We talked about Carnage. What else? I'm mainly reading your questions. I like to interact with you guys. You want to see the Hulk slap the symbiote off Venom? Oh, that's gonna be a hard slap. That's gonna be a real hard slap. But real quick though, I mainly gave all my thoughts and everything in the previous video where we talked about the non-spoiler. And I still stand on that. I enjoyed the film. I enjoyed the film. I feel like it just sat at a good rating. It was just good. And that's a tough thing to kind of call today when you have the MCU on one hand is just so stellar and setting the bar so high. It's tough to make a film that stands out on top of that. It's really tough to do that. If we're to get a Venom in the MCU, it will most likely be Ultimate's version since Spider-Man is based on more Ultimate Spider-Man. I don't think so. I don't think so. Spider-Man is MCU Spider-Man. He is a lot more 616. I mean, he has an Ultimate's. His best friend is the same name as his Ultimate's best friend in that universe, but for the most part, I feel like everything else is more of a 616. And the Venom from the Ultimates universe was a savage. He was a complete savage, like soulless savage. And yeah, like I don't think that like the Tom Hardy, we haven't even seen the Tom Hardy Venom get that savage yet. And that would be too hardcore. Ultimate's Venom would be too hardcore for the MCU. Let's see if we got any more Venom questions before we wrap it up. Well, 2 more minutes here. Let's see. What else we got? What else we got? Who did I sympathize for the least in the movie? Or who did I sympathize with the least in the movie? I'm guessing what you mean. Who did I sympathize with the least? I'm having a complete brain fart, but his love interest, whatever her name was, I can't even think of it right now. But she was the least. She was the least that I connected with, the least. And I don't even think she was a character from the comics. They just used her name. But it just didn't connect with me. It just kind of fell flat, the chemistry and all that. Symbiote in the mix when they bonded. I had to see it again to see if I saw that. But I do feel like the scene where they bonded, and I feel like the scene where they bonded and then they broke apart, I feel like there's two parts where a piece kind of broke off, like when the face got torn off and thrown away, and there was another piece. There's another time when they bonded. I feel like those two could have been the Carnage offspring. Either one of those, either from Venom individually or another time from uh, the two of them together. See, can you cover Ultimatum, the Ultimatum Venom? I guess Ultimates Universe. We can. I was supposed to do Ultimatum a while back, but I talked about the Ultimates Universe Venom in the Noah video. Talked about him there for a little bit. What's that? I talked about him there for a little bit. Let's see. Do another minute. So I keep skipping your question, ship review. What is your question? See if I can scroll up and see it. Da, da, da. See, ship review, write it again because I'm going up and I don't see it. Okay, no, I see it. How do you think the people who read the comic where Eddie and Venom have a child will react to your film? You remember Eddie and Symbiote have a child. Eddie and Venom have a child into a film. Let's see, you're talking about Carnage? We have a... Genji, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm trying to see what's going on. I'm trying to figure out what is going on. That's about Walking Dead comics. I haven't been reading Walking Dead. I have not. I've been digging back in Marvel. A lot of Darkhawk. Have not been into any Image or Walking Dead. Did I watch Predator? Yeah, I did. It was great for the first 3 quarters. I really liked the first 3 quarters. Then the end, it just undid all the happiness I had for that past hour and a half. Like, yeah, it just did that. Hey, Daniel. I wanted to say hey. I'm saying hey back. Woody Harrelson's hair, though. Yeah, them curls was hitting too hard, man. It was too crazy. Like, he just put on, they tossed him the wig and said action in one motion, and they started filming. Like, it wasn't even on straight. Let's see. So is Venom worth going to the theater? I'll still say yeah. I'll still say yeah. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't say that. Hey man, thanks for the review. Thanks when it comes to. I appreciate that, Kenny. Man, thanks for the review. Please play your comments, dude. Bring to light the comments when you explain them. Keep it up, and I'll see you around. Thanks, Kenny. Ship review. I'm not sure exactly. I know exactly which one you're talking about. It'd be a little more specific. I'll take a couple more. Take a couple more, and that'll do it. Let's see. Do you think they were teasing The whole Eddie getting cancer storyline when Eddie found out what was happening to his organs when he bonded with Venom. That's a good question. I don't think so. I just think that's what they're doing with I just think that's what they're doing with the symbiotes, how they work. You have to feed in order to sustain the symbiosis versus the whole cancer thing. Because if it was taking that route, I feel like it would have been a teaser for like anti-venom or something like that. But I just think that's the way they have the symbiote set up. All right, let's say one more. Who do you want to see Tom Hardy Venom fight most out of any Marvel character? As far as Marvel characters in the MCU, I really want to see how a Tom Holland Spider-Man would size up to a Venom that big, that big, and that imposing. Like, I would really like to see that in live action because I feel like that could be, if shot well and kind of given one of those long James Wan kind of shots, I feel like that could be like a very terrifying sequence with that kind of Venom sneaking up on Spider-Man, nearly biting his head off. I would love to see that. I want to see Tom Hardy versus Brock Lesnar. Yo, don't get me started on some UFC. That'll be a whole nother hour we'll be up here. Connor versus Venom. Not Connor. That would be cool. Spider-Man would lose. Yeah, he most likely would. All right, but I think that'll do it for this one, man. I just wanted to chop it up with you guys, get your thoughts, see what you think. I think I will be doing a bit more of these live streams, just random, just kind of getting random thoughts out. Or some of the videos that I want to just theorize over, I'll probably get on here and just start talking. Hey, do you know comics? A little bit of communication. Don't know personally though. Don't know personally. Better Hardy, Bane or Venom? Good question. Good question. I feel like, but I feel like in Dark Knight, it was much more, it was much better material for him to work with than Venom. So only in that aspect, I don't think it's really a fair comparison between the two. I just don't want to stop. Okay. There's dope one. Credits that didn't show up on the soundtrack. I haven't listened to the whole soundtrack. I just heard like the Eminem joint. I haven't heard the whole soundtrack. My legs are broken, now they're not broken. But yeah, that'll do it for this one, guys. I will be doing more live streams, mostly on the stuff that is just like random thoughts and stuff I want to get out there. So that way, when I do it, we can kind of go back and forth on it. Let's see. Unlist the live streams, don't delete them. I probably won't. What I'm thinking of doing is just putting them on a separate playlist. So if you ever want to go back and look at them, they'll just be there for you guys to go back and see. Yeah. Last one real quick. Thoughts on the Spider-Verse teaser at the end. I did like it. I liked it. I didn't like that it was a post-credit. I feel like that should have just been released on YouTube or on the web. It is worth staying after to see and actually seeing that on the big screen. So that kind of is an opportunity they took advantage of to show that on the big screen. But yeah, aside from that, I feel like they could just release that online for us to see. Um, but yeah, that is it. That is it. Posting whatever I want. Have a good one too, man. All y'all have a good night. It's getting kind of late. This one's getting kind of long too. Uh, yeah, Daniel, Spencer, everybody. Yeah, have a good night. Squad up. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right. Later.